Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, the internet's most interactive Raiders channel. Today I got news and rumors that I'm ready to crack open for y'all, and I'm going to start this one off with a trade. The Raiders, they traded for punt returner / wide receiver Trevor Davis of the Green Bay Packers. Here's the thing. Y'all wanted the Raiders to go out and get some speed because Dwayne Harris and J.J. Nelson are banged up. Trevor Davis has legit 4.3 speed. Now, this is one of those things that I'm happy that the Raiders went out and did it because we need a field stretcher right now. TYRELL Williams is really the only guy that the Raiders have on the field unless they want to promote Rico Gafford. The fact that Davis, though, could actually be a player that could just stretch the field, I think would really help this offense. The only bad thing I'll say about this trade is it makes me a little bit worried on the actual health of Dwayne Harris, who, remember, had to leave for a little bit there in week 2, has missed practices in 2 straight days. But J.J. Nelson, he was at least limited today, but things not looking too good for those two guys. But hey, Davis, welcome to the nation. So the Raiders, though, they also had some Wednesday workouts. Emmanuel Hall, who I hear from Tom Downey is not a Gruden grinder, a little bit soft. Then Jamal Custis, Sean Harper, Devontae Harris, and then Matthew Thomas. All 5 of these players worked out for the Oakland Raiders on Wednesday, but nothing else happened. The real news here that I wanted to get you guys is Trevor Davis is now a part of the Oakland Raiders. So currently we have 25,110 subscribers. We got to 25K, and I always ask you guys to subscribe, and I'm actually going to tell you to continue to subscribe, but I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. We've come a long way. We're doing great things here, and I told you guys that once we hit 25K subscribers, I'm going to give out some tickets. So here's the thing. Shout out to Raider Nation Store for hooking up me with some shirts. They're going to hook us up with some tickets here, too. So type me in the comments section if you want to go to Raiders versus Colts. I wanted to do a giveaway for the Vikings game, but that one's just a little bit too quick to be able to do the giveaway. So if we get enough people to type me in the comments section, Raider Nation Store is going to hook us up with some Raiders versus Colts tickets. So make sure you guys comment below me if you want to go to Raiders versus Colts. Let's get into some rumors, shall we? Who wants some Chucky heads? I know I do. Anonymous Raider wants Ramsey. This one's for Chucky heads, believe it, baby. And according to Paul Gutierrez, an anonymous Raiders player talked about Jalen Ramsey and basically said that, yeah, I want Ramsey. So the player said he'd help us play the kind of defense we want to play. My biggest concern and question is, I don't really know who this anonymous Raider player is. Oh, wait. I think I do, so stay tuned because I'm going to tell you in a little bit who I think this anonymous Raider player is. Now, the fact that this anonymous player didn't want to mention his name, between you and me, I kind of hate that. If you want to be anonymous, then don't talk. If you want your opinion out there, you know, like, you should be able to give your name. So I'm not a big fan of this. However, I can understand because then, you know, guess what? You might get put on blast like on the Raiders Report. So right now, this is what the Raiders depth chart looks like. Obviously, right now, without Jalen Ramsey. Garyon Conley, LaMarcus Joyner, Carl Joseph, Curtis Riley, also Eric Harris and Riley. They're kind of splitting time there at free safety. And then Worley. Now, this with Ramsey to me is absolutely beautiful, right? I mean, this gets me excited in so many ways, and good thing that I'm not on screen. So you got Ramsey, who insert now as your quarterback 1, and if anybody does not watch Thursday Night Football, you guys better watch Thursday Night Football to get a very good look at Jalen Ramsey. And then Garyon Conley can be the cornerback 2 because I think he just has way too many ups and downs to be a cornerback 1. Worley has played fairly well, I think, this entire season, the most snaps among any player in the defensive back. And then Carl Joseph, and then Joyner, who kind of struggled this past week against the Chiefs. Maybe the nickel's a little bit too difficult for him. Maybe we need to move him back to free safety. But I'm just telling you that this defensive back depth chart right now with Ramsey would be absolutely beautiful. So I totally agree with this anonymous player that I want the Raiders to go get Ramsey. So here's some interesting tweets from Paul Gutierrez, okay? I kind of already alerted to this. Anonymous Raider player Ramsey would bring to the team should be an acquired and trade, all right? He'd help us. I like watching him play. Awesome. But then I wanted to do a little bit digging because I was like, who is this anonymous player? So then I saw this from Josh Dubow. Al Davis would approve of LaMarcus Joyner's message. Joyner said Raiders' problems on D came when they played zone and they were fine when they were in single high man D. So I wanted to go through some reports. I did a little bit of digging. And the one player that kept on saying that he basically wanted to run more single high man and he wanted to run man. You know who's very good at running man? Jalen Ramsey. So I want to ask everyone out there right now, who is anonymous? Who do you think is the anonymous player? Any comments? Is it Cleveland Ferrell? This is Jonathan Abram. Who is anonymous? I wanted to see some comments below. I'm curious what you guys can come up with. For me, I think anonymous is LaMarcus Joyner. I think LaMarcus Joyner ultimately wants Garyon Conley, or wants Jalen Ramsey, so that way Garyon Conley can be the cornerback too. That way they can run more man. Because what is Jalen super upset about right now with the Jags? Is that they're not letting him run more man because he wants to match up and totally take away a whole side of the football field. This also allows LaMarcus Joyner then to play free safety. So between you and me, I think LaMarcus Joyner is anonymous. Now, I want to give a special shout out to today's sponsor, BetDSI. You guys are always asking me, Mitch, how do I get started with BetDSI? Well, here you go. Chatsports.com/bet. You have to use that link. And when you go there, use my promo code Raiders120 for 120% deposit bonus. The really cool thing about BetDSI, they're so good, they're going to give you free money. So if you put down $50, you'll get $60 for free. And how about this? I talked to Raider Nation store. They said for anybody that signs up and deposits with BetDSI, I get you a Raider shirt. So BetDSI, free money, and a Raider shirt. I don't know what else you guys want from me. Go get started. Send me a screenshot that you get signed up with BetDSI. Let's go to another rumor around Jalen Ramsey. And do the Oakland Raiders want Jalen Ramsey? This one, again, is for Chucky heads. Believe it, baby. So I did another little bit of digging, and so The Athletic, they came out and said that the Raiders really looked heavily into getting Jalen Ramsey. Also, Mercury News reported the Raiders looked into getting Jalen Ramsey. Here's the thing. I'm sure every single NFL team wants Jalen Ramsey. I'm sure that every single NFL team looked into getting Jalen Ramsey. If you're an NFL team and a player of Jalen Ramsey's caliber says, I want to be traded, and you don't at least pick up the phone and call the Jags, I'm sorry, you're a complete idiot. Or maybe you don't have a GM like the Texans. So the teams that have been a little bit more interested in Jalen Ramsey are the teams that are up on screen. So you got the Raiders, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Ravens, and Minnesota Vikings, and then the Seattle Seahawks. These are the teams that I guess you could say put their glasses on and are looking at Jalen a little bit closer. The reason why I think, though, every single team wants this guy, because over the last 3 years, try to find me a cornerback that has been this consistent and this good, plus on such a bad team. Considering the fact of how often Jalen Ramsey is on the field, I'm actually surprised that he put up as good of numbers as what he did in 2018. And 2017, I think, was by far his best year, was also the year the Jags went to the AFC Championship game. Probably should have went to the playoffs. I'm telling you right now, go get me Jalen Ramsey. So guess what? Kind of gave away my answer, but hey, this show is not about me. It's about the nation. Should the Raiders trade for Jalen Ramsey? I know I tell you guys to type Y for yes, N for no. Hell no. Let's just type yes or no. Okay? I want you to put Jalen Ramsey yes or Jalen Ramsey no. Should the Oakland Raiders trade for Jalen Ramsey? So if you guys are watching this video on YouTube, if you're watching it on our Facebook channel, and if you're like, wow, I didn't even know you had a Facebook page, well, go like it. Facebook.com/JustWinBabyRaiders. I want to know, should the Raiders trade for Jalen Ramsey? Let's talk about another trade, shall we? Because apparently the Raiders are just going to trade for every single player out there. And are they going to trade for Jamal Adams? This one's zero Chucky heads. Tuck rule, tuck that. And it has nothing to do with Jamal Adams. I think Jamal Adams is an incredible player. And if the Jets would be like, hey, do you want Jamal Adams? I would say yes in a heartbeat. So I saw this article by Heavy.com. And basically said that the Raiders are one of the top candidates for Jamal Adams. They go in depth saying that Jamal Adams wants to be traded because he removed the New York Jets from his bio. But here's the thing. Like, he was just upset, and he was never even following the New York Jets on Instagram ever. Like, ever since I tweeted out this whole Antonio Brown unfollowed the Oakland Raiders, I'm sorry, but I think a lot of people are seeing what we're doing here at Chat Sports, and they're trying to copy us. So now every single time a player doesn't follow his team, they're like, oh, he wants to be traded. The New York Jets don't want to trade Jamal Adams because maybe minus Sam Darnold, he might be their most important asset on that entire team. I mean, as a rookie, 115 tackles, 1 interception, 12 pass breakups on the New York Jets. That's impressive. The New York Jets do not, I can't imagine anybody at this point would be excited to play for the Jets, which is kind of mind-blowing considering that they're in New York or East Rutherford if you actually know where they're located. But Jamal Adams is an absolute stud, and yeah, I would love for the Raiders to get him. But let's face it, the Jets, they're just simply not going to trade Adams. So you guys always hit me up and are like, Mitch, should the Raiders trade for this guy? Should the Raiders trade for this guy? Well, now's your chance to let me know in the comment section. Name a player the Raiders should trade for. Because I've gotten a lot of people recently being like, what about A.J. Green? What about Jamal Adams? What about Minka? Oh, wait, he's already with the Steelers. I get a lot of questions, so now I want you to name a player that you think the Oakland Raiders should go out and trade for. And if you want the players or the Raiders to go out and trade for Jalen Ramsey, because you're going to be like, Mitch, I'm going to be watching Jalen Ramsey tonight on Thursday Night Football. Here's another thing. While you're watching Thursday Night Football, get rid of commercials, because I guarantee there's going to be a lot of them. But get rid of commercials for Thursday Night Football, Sunday Football. Get rid of commercials forever. Go download the MyTV Choice app. It's free. I can get rid of commercials, and I can get rid of them for free. Where do I sign up? Oh, wait, you just have to download the app, chatsports.com/Mitch. If you forget that, like I always do before the show, I'm going to be really upset. All right, let's go to the next set of rumors here. Is Tyrell Williams playing slot wide receiver? I'm going to give this one Chucky head, and I think it's a small shred of truth. Now, I get it. Not everyone, I think, can maybe afford to pay good writers. Fansided's one of those people, and I'm shots fired, but get over it. Tyrell Williams, according to Fansided, is going to play in the slot. Here's the thing, though. Tyrell Williams is our outside wide receiver, and if you've watched any football for the Raiders this year, you'll know that the Oakland Raiders have moved Darren Waller around way more than Tyrell Williams. And shout out to Tom Downey. Tyrell Williams this year has played 26 snaps in the slot. He's played 83 on the outside. Now, I do anticipate them to move around Tyrell Williams, as most teams do, and he's been our best receiver this entire year. 11 catches, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. But I expect the Vikings to put Xavier Rhodes on him. But I also think this is a matchup that the Raiders can execute, moving Waller around. Also, I think it's a matchup that the Raiders would be smart getting players involved like Hunter Renfrow. So the Minnesota Vikings have allowed the most receptions to wide receivers in the entire NFL with 35. They haven't given up the most yards or the most touchdowns, but they've given up the most receptions. Let's get players like Hunter Renfrow a little bit more involved in this game. So I know I asked this question last week, but I'm going to ask it again, and I'm probably going to ask it a few more times because I anticipate Tyrell Williams and Darren Waller to be the top 2 targets every single game for Derek Carr. So who's going to have more receiving yards in Week 3 versus the Vikings? I want you to type T for Tyrell Williams or type D for Darren Waller. Tyrell beat Darren in Week 1, but Darren got him in Week 2. So who's going to have more receiving yards in Week 3? Tyrell Williams or Darren Waller? Let's talk about Trent Brown, shall we? Is he going to play Week 3? When I first did this one yesterday, I was like pretty confident, 3 Chucky heads. Now I'm going to keep it with 3 Chucky heads. Here's the thing though, we're dropping down to like 2.5. We're just going to round up because apparently that's what we do here at Chat Sports. We round up. So the fact that it's 3 Chucky heads, he left the game versus the Chiefs with a sore knee. And according to our producer here, rub some dirt on it, you'll be good to go. But he did not return. The fact that Brown is questionable and has missed practice on Wednesday and on Thursday is concerning. But Greg Olson today, the Raiders offensive coordinator, says that he thinks that he's going to play. And I don't remember the quote exactly, but he was like, last time I checked, he was good to go. The only thing with that is if he misses Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm going to start getting a little bit worried. I'm going to drop this one from 3 Chucky heads to 2 Chucky heads. So make sure you guys are staying tuned to that Raiders injury report once it comes out tomorrow. Luckily, though, the Raiders, they still have a very solid offensive line. And they have a little bit more depth this week now that Richie Incognito is back. So you're going to have Colton Incognito, Hudson, Denzel Good, and Trent Brown. An important note here, if Trent Brown is unable to go, you're going to look at either Sharpe or at Brandon Parker inserting there at the right tackle position, which makes me a little nervous because Brandon Parker got absolutely roasted last year, and Sharpe, well, he's not very sharp either. Let's look at the last rumor here. Josh Jacobs lost 10 pounds. This one's for Chucky heads, believe it, baby. So Josh Jacobs, I guess before this week, was 220 pounds. Well, now he's 210 pounds. So he posted on his Instagram that he lost 10 pounds because he is, in his words, sick AF. If you don't know what sick AF means, Mom, Google it. So Jon Gruden said that he was dealing with a groin injury, but it actually appears that he misspoke. he was dealing with a hip injury, and he's been limited in practice the last 2 days. Here's the thing, though. According to all other reports and people who I trust, he looks good to go versus the Vikings. He was dealing with some cramps in week 2. Also, from what I hear, that has to do with dehydration because he was sick. And I was sitting here like, why isn't he getting the football more against the Chiefs? Because he looks great. I mean, when you average 8.3 yards per carry, yeah, I'm not a mathematician, but 51 long, that does help the average. But like even week 1 versus the Broncos, 23 carries, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Raiders need to lean on their running back who they drafted in the first round, I think, to beat a Vikings team that is going to be aggressive. That is a very good team against quarterbacks, and they just got roasted against Aaron Jones and the Green Bay Packers last week. So let's get Josh Jacobs a little bit more involved. Let's keep feeding him the football. And I understand that he just lost 10 pounds, but you know what? Easy way to get those 10 pounds back is to absolutely feed him. Now, if you guys love the Oakland Raiders, I want you to subscribe. Please subscribe, youtube.com/Raiders Report. And how about this, all right? How about this? I want you to take a screenshot of this, and I want you to put it on your Instagram and then tag me. For every single person that does that and tags me, that's the important way, because then I get notified. I'm going to share it on my IG story as well. Let's continue to grow the nation. I absolutely love you. And again, I appreciate everyone who's already a subscriber. We're going to be giving out some tickets. And I also got a special hookup for everyone who watches the show. So here's the thing. If you are already signed up with BetDSI, or if you're already signed up with my bookie, I want you to DM me the word hookup on Instagram or on Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. So I'll say it again. If you're already with my bookie, and if you're already with BetDSI, DM me hookup. I got something special for you. Hit me up on IG or Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365.
Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this. I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.